Welcome back to another episode of Music Business Advice, where we watch and break down some of the videos discussed in our artist development course. Today we have a video talking about how eyes can sell more than ears, so let's get into it.
I always love seeing musical artists have dope merch.
You had the Grateful Dead teddy bears on not so long ago. Phenomenal. I know people are, I still have the vintage Purple Rain Prince t-shirt on the motorcycle with the,
Wow.
what I'm saying? I've had the Guns N' Roses, the iconic, the Cross t-shirt with all their faces and skulls, Metallica, Iron Maiden, MC Hammer, Janet Jackson. I had a Jackson 5 touring t-shirt. Yeah, man. So I've had some merch, man.
I always think artists should put their face on their T-shirt
What if they're
with their
ugly?
logo. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, I'm with it. I like the I think there's like 70s. What's is that a style where they have like the old like Death Row kind of where it's like a big
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg and
Yep.
they'll have him in the low rider down here and then over here be smoking or whatever. I like those kind of merch
Those sell.
designs.
Those
I like
sell.
those.
Yeah, I just a fan of artists promoting themselves. I never forget. I was hosting YF and Lucci concert in Fly Guy DC, and
I was there at the center stage.
center stage, and everyone had the big YF and Lucci T-shirt
Mm-hmm.
on, and it was just a big branding moment because you wanted a shirt. Everyone wanted a shirt.
Remember drugs? Remember when the drugs do right, you gain success when those guys were running around Atlanta with the
remember,
shirts?
That was a great brand.
Yeah, you had that do right, you gain success on, buddy. You was real exclusive.
And then the Free Band Gang, shout out to Future. Everyone wanted the FB.
With the seal, the FBG stuff.
FBG shirt. And one time for Master P, I saw Master P out in LA, and I saw his manager. Can't remember his name, but I just remember seeing the tank. He had the tank. I said, I bought that. I bought that tank. I mean, it was cheap, and it was like,
I remember when
was
Jeezy
fake,
gave all
but-
the DJs the CTE, the USDA jackets. Remember that?
yeah.
That he had the world on a chokehold that time. Must cost him about a grip to give 1,000 Letterman
I just
jackets
think
out.
dope artists should have dope merch.
Yeah.
It's things like that goes together. It has to happen because your fans, especially super fans, want to buy that shit.
It frustrates me when I like an artist and can't find merch, especially like if I feel they have like a dope. I like T-shirts with words on them. So I like to have shirts that'll have like phrases. You guys know I'm a ray of fucking sunshine
Yeah.
or whatever it
Yeah.
is.
I like
too.
Wendy's shirts. She'll have sometimes with phrases.
Right,
on
with the
them.
big, with the bold, with the statement shirts. And
Spending money like I sell dope.
boom. So why wouldn't an artist, and that's one of the things that frustrates me when I find an artist that has a hot bar, because I don't know if you guys are like this, but music is the soundtrack to my life, so I'm always
Agreed.
quoting a random song or an ad lib. I'm always hitting the Jeezy, ha ha, hey, I'm always
Yeah.
doing something,
Right.
right? So I invest in that, and when I see, or when I can't find t-shirts like that, it's kind of frustrating.
Always remember that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. A quality product attached to a quality brand message is a foolproof way to make money outside of streaming. Your music is simply an introduction. You wouldn't tell someone your entire life story on a first date. You may go through surface level conversation at first and then naturally grow into something with more substance, something you can actually invest in. Deciding to entertain that interest and see what else you have to offer, or decide to leave you alone altogether, depends solely on if you can build that deeper connection.
Because sometimes they may want to get what if I wanted to get a t-shirt with the Jeezy A all across the back?
Right.
I'm not the only one that would wear that, but I can't find it. I would have to make it myself and then buy it myself, and it just becomes too much of a hassle. And then it's like I'm making custom clothes, and
Right.
it's not what I
Like,
want to do.
Look at the Travis Scott line. The Travis Scott line is very well sought after. It then went all the way to Jordan, to where his shoes are now overpriced because they sell out. And now, if you want to get a pair, a normal price is $250, but it's costing $12.50
Yeah.
for the shoe.
And then the way they did with the Cactus Jack merch when it dropped, it was like
Cactus Jack.
allows 6 to 8 weeks for delivery, which meant, and I learned this from Wendy Day. I don't even think you did this directly, but unintentionally, I hit boss one day and I said, "Hey Wendy, I want to become the hip hop Billy Mays. You know who Billy Mays is?
Educate me.
Billy Mays is the guy that with the beard
Infomercials.
on the infomercials. Hey, and I've got the new tapes.
Oh, yeah.
And he
See?
sold
Remember.
everything, right? Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to be the hip hop Billy Mays. I was like, boss, I'm gonna get on here and we're gonna sell music. And she was like, well, Kingpin, it's backwards. You sell the T-shirt and give away the music. You want to sell the music and give away the T-shirt. people will buy the t-shirt before they buy the music. So that was like one of my crash courses in music business 101. Again, it's all about the packaging and the presentation of it and understanding all the stuff that it takes to do. A lot of those things elude us because it can't work that way. There has to be more to it. And oftentimes, bro, it's not. That's exactly the way it is. And it's disheartening because some people believe that, man, I wish I had a big bag. I'd get the billboard in Times Square. Why? If you spent every day engaging with the fans you do have, and if you're able to build up 25,000 followers within a 365-day span, say 2 years or 3 years, pitch your products right, you too can get the Spotify billboard in Times Square.
This very concept came in a conversation last night. So I'm in somebody's session and somehow we get on the topic of expensive things, from luxury cars to the most expensive bikes. This artist happened to be a sneakerhead, so naturally the conversation moved to shoes, specifically collaborations. To someone who doesn't know too much about sneakers like myself, spending more than $150 seems crazy. But now I understand that people aren't necessarily buying the product for the product, they're buying the brand that's attached to it. So when he's telling us about the resale value of a pair of shoes in his collection, I'm not gauging the price anymore off of the pair of shoes, but the brand associated with it. I could design the same shoe as Travis Scott, but people will pay ridiculous amounts of money for his version, although he made the exact same shoe, because of the strength in his brand. Keep this in mind when you start selling merchandise. Have you built a brand that's willing to spend money for what you stand for? If not, focus on your introduction. Consistently dropping music that represents who you are and gives someone a reason to see what else you have to offer.
The first shirt you put out probably isn't going to sell. The second or third one probably isn't going to sell because all you have was black and white. You never decided to do any testing, and you never decided to test any shapes or sizes of colors or variations of logos. So all of those different things matter. And when you're getting into it as an artist, yeah, you can't think about all those things. But when you go to the store, what makes you buy a t-shirt?
We did a really cool thing with Trouble, and Tony actually spearheaded this. He went through, you know how he's sort of like you, he went on that deep dive through Twitter, and he found the most quoted phrase by Trouble from any of his songs was "can't get involved too deeply."
Right.
So we went to Rep Graphics and had "can't get involved too deeply"
Put on a shirt.
designed really cool, and then we sold like a gazillion shirts. I was in LAX and there was this like 50-year-old man, maybe even older, that was wearing that
Can't get
t-shirt.
involved too deeply.
And I'm like, what is this old white guy doing wearing this shirt? So I went up to him and I'm like, this shirt's amazing. Where did you get it? And he said, I saw it online. And I said, well, it's an artist named Trouble. He's like, I don't know who it is, but the phrase just reached me.
Can't get involved too deeply. That's it.
Yes, that's all it said was can't get involved too deeply.
If most of these artists took some of their most quoted lyrics
and it's from
put
Twitter.
them on t-shirts and bought
You
it
found that on
themselves.
Twitter.
Tony did. Tony went and did. He spent a night and went through and researched what was the most, because we thought it was going to be. Trouble used to say stuff like a shrimp boat. You know, he called women snacks. So we thought it was going to be something like that we were going to put on a t-shirt.
God bless
and
the
it
dead.
wasn't. It was the initial phrase
Can't get
to
involved
his
too
biggest
deeply.
song. And people just felt it because we all don't want to get involved too deep. It's like we don't want to get hurt. We don't want to be vulnerable.
Could you think
This is a good way to gauge how many people are truly listening. When you reach a certain level of engagement, meaning you're getting a decent amount of streams, you could sell out a decent sized venue or even see a rise in your social media following. Start to push products with your lyrics on them. If someone is willing to invest in a t-shirt, a hat, a wristband with my lyrics on them, I know they're willing to spend money on anything else I drop in alignment with my brand message, because they're literally buying the message.
When I'm preaching to the people, I don't want to leave them unsure.